So what is the homeostatic function of the periodontal ligament? So when we talk about the homeostatic function of the periodontal ligament, what is it? So they are having this synthetic cells as well as the resorption cells, which is they are having these two types of cells, yeah, which is necessary for the you know you could change the shape, like could change the connective tissues like the cementum, periodontal ligament, and alveolar bone, which is actually necessary for the functional integrity of the periodontium. So you could like shape changing, like remodeling. So they actually help in the remodeling of the connective tissue and which is actually necessary for the functional integrity. Okay, yeah. So what is the dual function of fibroblast? They are actually producing collagen as well as degrading the collagen, which actually help in controlling the regulating the turnover of the collagen, and hence the homeostasis of the periodontal ligaments. So what is scleroderma? Scleroderma means uniform uniformal uniformly the width of periodontal ligament increases, okay, which actually affects a lot of many teeth. So this can be seen as the radiographically. This can be seen. So that is what is scleroderma is. No, scleroderma is actually that is what we can see the so basically what it is the thickening, and it becomes thick of the skin and the mucous membrane, I think so. Skin and connective tissue, yeah. So scleroderma is a disease that increases the causes hardening and thickening of the thickening of the connective tissue and skin, hardening and thickening of skin, hardening and hardening and thickening of skin and connective tissue. Yeah. What is interstitial tissue? Interstitial tissue is actually seen where it is seen in between and around bundles, huge, large bundles of principal fibers, loose connective tissue that is present between, that what is found between and among dense bundles of principal fibers. Loose connective tissue between and among. Yeah. So what are different cells found in periodontal ligament? It is mast cells. Okay, what are the two daughter cells that arise from periodontal? So one daughter cell will differentiate into synthetic cell. The other will actually remain in the progenitor compartment. Okay. So what is the significance of periodontal ligament? Periodontal ligament is actually necessary for what is the significance necessary for the support and anchoring of the tooth to the alveolar bone. Of course, periodontal ligament significance, alveolar bone. Yeah. So what is transalveolar fibers? This Sharpie's fibers occasionally pass through the bone of the alveolar process and continue as the principal fibers of the adjacent periodontal ligament, that is called as the transalveolar fibers. So what type of collagen is predominantly found in periodontal ligament? Type 1, 3 and 12. So what is periodontium? Periodontium is a connective tissue that invest and invest and support the teeth at natural and functional state is called as periodontium. So tissue which invests and support the teeth or tooth in its natural and functional state is called as periodontium. So what unique molecular configuration is? So the unique molecular configuration of collagen gives you strength and flexibility. Unique molecular configuration gives you strength and flexibility to the tissues. Okay. Yeah. So what function of the horizontal fibers? So what is the function of horizontal fibers in periodontal ligament? Function of the function. What is the function of the horizontal fibers? They actually prevent the tipping of tooth. I don't know, like resistance against the lateral forces. Basically, that is the function of. Yeah, they help to resist tooth displacement. Yeah, they help to prevent tooth displacement. They help to prevent horizontal fibers tooth displacement against the lateral pressure. Yeah, what is periodontal ligament? Soft fibrous connective tissue that connect the tooth to bony socket. Cellular, vascular, and it is interposed between the roots of the tooth and inner wall of the alveolar socket. It's called periodontal space. So what is the function of interstitial tissues? Interstitial tissues function. So interstitial tissues contain blood vessels and nerves. Interstitial tissues contain blood vessels and nerves, and is yeah. What is the function of interstitial tissues? Interstitial tissues contain blood vessels and nerves, and is responsible for providing nutrients to the periodontal ligament and cells of the cementum. So what is the function of interstitial tissues? They contain blood vessels and nerves, and is responsible for providing nutrients to the periodontal ligament and cells of the cementum. Yeah. So what is the periodontal continuous with? It is continuous with the gingival connective tissue above the alveolar crust. So what is the shape of the mast cells? Round and ovoid. Yeah, ovoid. Yes, absolutely. What can happen to the periodontal ligament if the untreated? It will affect the periodontal ligament also. It will affect the PDL. Untreated for what? Gingiva and pulp. So how many principal fiber groups are there in the periodontal ligaments? So there are 5 different principal fiber groups in the. There are five different. There are 5 different principal fiber groups in the periodontal ligament. What are some synonyms used to describe the periodontal ligament? We have periodontal membrane, alveolar ligament. Then we have periosteum. Periosteum of bone. Then we have pericementum, desmodonte, gomphosis, fibrous joint. Pericementum, dental periosteum, alveolar ligament, periodontal. So it is dental periosteum. Okay, dental. It is dental peri. It is dental. It is dental periosteum. It is dental periosteum. Okay. What are myofibroblasts in the periodontal ligament? So, myofibroblasts have they provide the contractile force for the tooth movement. Myofibroblasts are the contractile elements. So they have contractile elements. So myofibroblasts are fibroblasts in the periodontal ligament that contain contractile elements such as actin and myosin in the cytoplasm. They are contractile elements such as actin and myosin in the cytoplasm, providing the contractile force which is actually required for tooth movement. What myofibroblasts? Yeah. So what shape does the periodontal ligament resemble? Hourglass shape. Like narrowest at the middle third of the root and widening towards the alveolar crest and cervix maybe. And near the and widens both apically and towards the alveolar crest. And widens both apically and near the alveolar crest. What is the function of oblique fibers in the periodontal ligament? Oblique fibers. Yeah. Oblique fibers resistant to some kind of force. They have significant role in holding the tooth. So this oblique fibers have a significant role. So oblique fibers have a significant role in holding the tooth in its socket, resist apically directed masticatory force. They have a significant role in holding the tooth in its socket and resistance to resist apically directed apically directed masticatory force. Okay. What is the homeostatic function? You have, the resorptive cells and synthetic cells, which is actually required for the remodeling of the three, which is actually required for the functional integrity maintenance of the periodontium. What are the names of four principal fibers that are distinguished in all teeth? So the four principal fibers that are distinguished in all teeth include oblique fibers. We have the oblique group, horizontal oblique group. We have an alveolar crest group, horizontal group, oblique group, and apical group. Alveolar crest, horizontal, oblique, apical. Four principal fiber groups: alveolar crest, oblique, apical, alveolar crest, horizontal, oblique, apical. So what is the average with the periodontal ligament? 0.15 to 0.38 millimeter. So what is the progenitor cells? They have the ability to differentiate. What else? Into fibroblast, cemento. You know that. Cemento. What else? They are undifferentiated mesenchymal cells. Okay, they are undifferentiated mesenchymal cells that can differentiate into various cells such as fibroblast, cementoblast, osteoclast, and play a major crucial role in maintenance and regeneration of the periodont. Maintenance. So we told that. So we are talking about the progenitor cells. So they are undifferentiated mesenchymal cells. Okay, you can differentiate into fibro, cemento, osteoclast and osteoblast. Okay. Yeah. And help in the maintenance and the regeneration of the periodontal tissue. Whatever. Yeah. What is scleroderma? Scleroderma is a disease which causes the thickening and what? It causes the thickening and strengthening, no, hardening. It causes the hardening and thickening of skin and connective tissue. It causes the hardening and thickening, hardening and thickening. Yeah. What is the staining property of the granules? What is the staining property of the granules in the muscles? They stain. What is the staining property of granules in mast cells? They stain with the metachromatic dyes like azure A and toluidine blue. Azure A and staining property of granules in mast cells. Metachromatic dyes like toluidine blue and azure A. Azure A. What is origin of periodontal ligament? Dental follicle. Follicle. Yeah, an ectomesenchymal component of tooth gum. So, what is origin of periodontal ligament? Dental follicle. An ectomesenchymal component of tooth gum. So, what is epithelial cell rest of molasses? They are on the periodontal ligament closest cementum, basically. They can differentiate into all such things like cementoblast, osteoblast, fibroblast. Are remnants, and they are remnants of Hedwig's epithelial root sheaths. They are remnants of her. Okay, epithelial cell rest of molasses are epithelial cell rest. So epithelial epithelial cell rest of molasses. Epithelial cell rest of molasses are remnants of a Hedwig's epithelial root sheath. So what is periodontal ligament? If you ask me what is periodontal ligament, it's just attachment, soft fibrous connective tissue providing the attachment. What else? And it is cellular and vascular. And where it is derived from? It is derived from similar to what? Periodontal ligament. Periodontal ligament develops from dental follicle, ectomesenchymal component of tooth gum. Yeah. What are Sharpie's fibers? What are Sharpie's fibers? The portion of the principal fiber that is embedded into What is Sharpie's fibers? The portion of the principal fibers that is embedded into either cementum or bone is called as Sharpie's fibers. So the portion of the principal fibers that is embedded either into this cementum or bone is called as Sharpie's fibers. What is the function of interstitial tissues? They contain blood vessels and nerves and provides nutrients to the nutrients to the periodontal ligament and cells of cement. So what is the function of apical group of fiber bundles in periodontal ligaments? They prevent this tooth tipping. They can prevent tooth tipping and resist process of luxation. They help to resist extrusive forces on the tooth. So this apical group of fiber bundles can resist extrusive forces. Apical group of fibers. So apical group of fibers can resist. Apical group of fiber bundles. Apical group of fiber bundles can resist apical group of fiber bundles can resist the extrusive forces on the tooth. How many principal groups are there in the periodontal ligament? We have 4, like we have the alveolar crust, horizontally, oblique, apical. 5 different groups of 5 different principal fiber groups are present. There 5 different groups of are. We have interradicular groups also. That is interradicular group. Yeah. So what is the function of macrophages in periodontium? Phagocytosis. They are capable of phagocytosis. Macrophages are capable of phagocytosis and antigen presentation. Then you have secrete cytokines and growth factors. And where they are found? They are found in the connective tissue and in the gingival clavicular. Gingival clavicular fluid. So where they are found? Connective tissue and they are found in the. So what shape does the periodontal? We are talking that something. Yeah. What shape does the periodontal ligament resemble? So periodontal ligament resembles that of an hourglass, and it becomes wider towards the alveolar bone and apically and towards the alveolar crust. Apically and near the alveolar crust. What are some synonyms? We have the gomphoses, desmodont, and the one we missed is we have periodontal membrane and alveolar ligaments and dental periosteum and pericementum. Dental periosteum. Yeah. So what is the function of horizontal fibers in the periodontal ligament? Horizontal fibers. They help to resist lateral pressure. That is the function of, and prevent tooth displacement. Resist tooth displacement against the lateral pressure. Yeah. What are interstitial tissues? Found it is present between and among the dense bundles or huge bundles of principal fibers are called interstitial tissues. Dense bundles. What are myofibrils? They have contractile elements like actin and myosin and provide the contractile force required for tooth movement. What are epithelial cell crust of molasses in the periodontal ligament? They are remnants of the Hedwig's epithelial root sheath and found close to the cementum and present in the periodontal ligament, and they have the ability to differentiate into cementoblast, osteo, fibro. Help in the regeneration. They help in the regeneration. They help in the regeneration of periodontal ligaments. What? Epithelial cell rests. Epithelial cell rest of molasses. Epithelial cell rest of molasses help in the epithelial cell rest of molasses help in the regeneration of periodontal ligament. Okay. So what is the function of the oblique fibers in the periodontal ligaments? We're talking about the oblique fibers in the they prevent tooth, against the apically directed tooth displacement against apically directed masticatory forces, basically. resist force against apically direct masticatory forces, and they have a significant role in holding the tooth in the socket. They have got a significant role in holding the tooth. They have got a significant role in holding the tooth in the socket. So they have got a significant role. Okay. And what are the names of the 4 principal fibers? We have 5 principal fibers. We have alveolar crest, horizontal, oblique, apical, and also interradicular. 3 types of cells that differentiate dental follicle. We have dental follicle, osteofibro, cementum, blast. Cementoblast produce cementum, osteoblast produce bone, fibroblast produce fiber and ground substance of the periodontal ligaments. Yeah. What is the cementoblast? What is cementoblast in periodontal ligament? Produce cementum. That help in the formation of cementum and covers the root surface of the tooth. So what is cover? Which part it cover? Cementoblast produces cementum. Yeah, and cover the root surface of the tooth. What happens to the fibers of the periodontal ligament as they get orient themselves in different planes and get embedded in cementum and alveolar crust, alveolar bone, and get embedded in forming cementum and alveolar and get embedded in forming cementum and alveolar bone. So what is scleroderma? Scleroderma is actually the hardening and thickening of the skin and connective tissue. So what is the staining property of granules in the muscles? Is like azure A and toluidine blue. Microchromatic dyes. Metachromatic dyes. They stain this granules of the granules in mast cells. So we have the granules in mast cells stained with what? Metachromatic dyes. Granules in mast cells, they do it with the metachromatic dyes like azure A and toluidine blue. So what is the original periodontal ligament? Dental follicle, an ectomesenchymal component of a tooth germ. So what is the epithelial cell restriction analysis? A remnant of a Hedwig's epithelial root sheath. So what is the function of alveolar crest? What is the function of alveolar crest fibers? Help to secure the tooth. So alveolar crest fibers help to secure the tooth in the pocket. Alveolar crest fibers help to secure the tooth in the socket and prevent extrusion of the tooth. Yeah. So what is the function of alveolar? What is the function of